one day, what would you do? David, what was your answer?
I don't want to go because of the free fall feeling that I get.
But you did say skydiving.
Yes.
Exactly. And there was actually a handful of people that said skydiving. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity. As those of you that saw my icebreaker, I've been skydiving twice. So I wanted to bring my experience to you guys. Because I feel like a lot of times when you have a fear of something, it's because you don't know about it. So if I can paint a picture of what my experience was like, at least it'll give you an informed decision to say if this is right for me. If nothing less, you guys seem like the perfect audience. I say this because, as I'm sure as you've probably heard, there are countless surveys out there that say most people's biggest fear is public speaking. Not skydiving, not death, but public speaking. So I figure this, if you guys come in here and do this every week, skydiving should be an easy sell. Here's the best part. Spoiler alert. I landed just fine. Clearly, I'm here to tell you the story about it. But we'll get to the landing later. Let me tell you how I got myself into this predicament. It was 2009. My wife, Michelle, who was at the time my girlfriend, bought us as an anniversary tandem skydiving. Because nothing says I love you like jumping out of a plane together. For those of you not familiar with tandem skydiving, it's for an introduction skydiving session where you jump out of a plane knowing nothing, and someone that you don't know is tied to your back as an instructor who then takes care of all the life-threatening issues. You mentioned earlier about how people act in an elevator. If you think it's socially awkward when a lot of people are in an elevator, you have no idea what it's like to have a man you met 10 minutes ago right here. That aside, my wife and I drive out to Hinckley, Illinois. If you're not familiar with that, it's farmland and a lot of cornfields. We arrive, there's a big clearing where the plane is going to land, and there's two big hangars. The first hangar is where you go in and sign your life away and say that you'll never sue even if you die. The second hangar is where you get your equipment and your instructions. After what seemed like an eternity of watching people go up and coming down, our names are finally called and we run in like two kids on Christmas Day to get our gear. A guy hands us one of those big flight suits, like a pilot, where the zipper is down here. You got the straps, the gloves, the glasses. I felt like I was in the special forces. Now, in my mind, I imagine the instructional portion of the day to be like a classroom with like a whiteboard, maybe a video, an instructor. Instead, I got Mike. Mike's 5'8", skinny, brown crew cut, doesn't care if he got a bad haircut. Goatee, looks like he's going to the gym. He's got like white Oakley sunglasses on. He comes up to me, puts up his glasses, says, "Hey, I'm Mike." I like a cocky swagger. But I figure if you're jumping out of planes all day, you probably should be a little cocky, so I'm okay with it. And he says, "Here's what's going to happen. We're going to get to the door. You're going to crouch down like a catcher in baseball. You're going to cross your arms. I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to jump out of the plane. When we get out of the plane, I want you to put your arms out like this and your legs up like this." He says, "I'll take care of the rest. See you in a few minutes." And walks away. I got more instructions when I got a fishing license than I did from the guy I'm about to jump out of a plane with. Marilyn, if I heard your speech prior to my jumping, I would have started tapping right now. After a few minutes, Michelle and I got our names called and we started walking out to the plane. I had that feeling like, in the movie when the main character does the slow walk, and there's like the cool theme song? Like, that's what I felt like in my flight suit. Now, if you watch the video, there's actually a videographer. If you watch the video of me, I'm actually walking like a baby giraffe for the first time. I'm like, I just don't know if this is a good idea. But we get to the plane, and it's a small plane. It's like the size of this couch, and there's 12 of us. Again, back to the elevator. We're shoulder to shoulder, leg to leg, I'm facing another person. If you're claustrophobic, you actually are probably excited to get out of the plane because this is a very tight situation. Mike, my instructor, starts to mess with my wife and I a little bit. He starts to say things like, "I hope this is the right equipment. This should be better than the jump this morning." He's having a good time. The suit that I was wearing that I thought was really fun and cool downstairs is now starting to feel really hot. I'm looking forward to getting out of the plane and getting away from Mike. After a few minutes, we ascend to 15,000 feet and the door opens. The sound is incredible. If you're on the highway going 80 miles an hour and you open up all of the windows, it's only 1/10 of what you hear at 15,000 feet. There's not a bone in your body that says, go that way. Luckily, you have a guy strapped to you that's pushing you towards that door. We get to the door. I do as Mike told me to. I crouch down like a catcher. He counts to 3. Boom. Free fall. It's really hard to explain free fall in words. The best way that I can describe it is the perfect blend of fear, adrenaline, and excitement. And the cocktail of life, if you will. It's ironic because besides the birth of my child and the wedding day of my wife, it's probably the most alive I've felt ever. It's ironic because if anything goes wrong, I'm not alive anymore. For 1 minute in free fall. It's the shortest and the longest minute I've ever been through. But Mike, in his professional fashion as a kid, told me when we pulled in the cord, ripped it open, and voila. We turned from a falling stone towards the earth to a light feather, gliding over cornfields in Hinckley, Illinois. Now, I didn't know what to expect with the landing. Mike taught me how to pull on the left, pull on the right, bring us down softly, and then we took a sharp, 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 sharp turn, and we literally landed to a running start. The first thing I did, I don't even remember thinking about it, I just did this. One of the first things I said was, let's do it again. I was ready to go right back up in there right now. It took me 6 months, but I did it again. The reason why I tell you this story is for several reasons. If you want to go skydiving, I think that you can. Especially you public speakers. Again, you guys are overcompensating for one of the biggest fears most people have. And despite Mike being unprofessional, slightly cocky, and trying to make me scared, you have to remember, your instructors are fully invested in your success. They'd like to go home too. And last but not least, anyone have I ever talked to that has been skydiving, never, ever regret it. So, I hope you take the plunge, literally and figuratively, and I look forward to hearing your stories. Thank you.